Okay, so in this video, I just want to do a bit of a walk around my bike. This is my touring bike. I call it my touring bike because I do a lot of my videos on these bikeways that I've been showing you on my YouTube channel. And this is a bike that I generally take out. As you know, I also have an e-bike, but this is the bike that I do a lot of mileage on because I don't have to worry about a battery. But I want to just show you, because a few of you have been asking about my bike, and I want to just show you a couple of things that I have set up on it that you might find interesting. You may not know about these things. Yeah, that's what this video is about. I'm going to touch upon a whole number of things. For example, I'll touch upon a nighttime light. I'm going to touch upon the bag. I'm going to touch upon sort of this quad mount. It's a cheap one that I've got here. Going to talk about daytime running lights, cheap bike computer, also the mount that these things fit onto. I'll also talk about the mount here. I want to actually show you something very, very fascinating here, that a lot of cyclists, when they're figuring out where to put lights, they have issues with a particular problem with mounts. I want to talk a bit about that. I'll just also mention my saddle. I'll also talk about the rear radar that I've got and a couple of other things on the bike that you might find interesting. So that's what this video is about. I will be jibber jabbering a lot and talking a lot. So, you know, if you're happy to stay tuned, well, good on you. I appreciate that. And maybe you might appreciate that too. Please subscribe. So first things first, this bicycle is my very first dual suspension bicycle, which I bought from 99 Bikes. Now I live here in Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. 99 Bikes is a very big local bike store, and that's where I got this from. At the time it was worth about $2.5 grand. I think I got it for $2,200. It's a cube bicycle. To be fair, it was great. I transitioned to this bike from a $300 cheap bike that I got online that I've been riding around for ages on, and when I got this about 4 years ago, this was a complete game changer. So if you have never ridden a dual suspension mountain bike, it is a complete game changer. If you're only riding hardtail bikes, the moment you try a dual suspension, you'll never want to go back. Anyway, that's enough about that. Something very quickly that I did though is I wanted just to protect my bike here from chain slap. This marks the aluminium here very, very quickly as you're going on various trails. So all I did here was, I'll probably have to do it again because this is sort of frittering away now, and my bike certainly isn't clean because that's not the point of this video, but this was just old bicycle tubing and I just wrapped it around, put a bit of zip tie here, and underneath there, that is beautiful and kept protected from being dented and grooved out from the chain. The other thing that I did, a lot of people like to buy expensive bike pedals. Now, I don't use clip-ons or toe clip-ins. I simply like to have these studded ones. Now, this was literally a $5 pedal from Kmart. I actually got a video where I showed how I made this. Now, on my mountain bike, I actually got a $100 set of pedals, but the point here is I made sure that this was sort of metal, like aluminium, and then I actually screwed in these little studs, and that provides a lot of grip for my shoes, and I've had it there for the last 4 years. What can I say? I haven't had to spend more than $5 or $6 on these pedals. That's just a consideration. The other thing that I did with my bike is, I don't know the size of them, but the front rotor discs, it's a certain size. I can't remember the sizing of it now, but what I did at the rear, I actually bought for cheap off AliExpress the next size up, and that meant I had to buy an additional riser so that it could accommodate a bigger disc there, and it just improves the whole stopping power of the bike. The next size up, that makes a big difference. All for cheap off AliExpress, and it's been working great for me for the last 4 years or so. I always carry with me a bike pump. This is very, very small, very tiny. This one is from AliExpress. It's GIYO brand. Let me just show it to you for a moment. It simply looks like this. GIYO. I love the fact that it's got a reader gauge. On the bottom here, this takes both Schrader and Presta valves. Okay, you just flip it around. And then over here, you have high pressure, and then you have high volume. You can get a lot of volume into your tubes, And then when you just need to get the pressure up a little bit higher, then you chuck it over to high pressure, and that just gets your last remaining, you know, air in there to whatever pressure you're after. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant little pump to carry with you, really nice and compact. Now personally, I like to keep that there. I don't like to carry around those CO2 canisters. I gave them a try for a period of time. I was not that confident in them, so I always carry, you know, just a compact bike pump with me. But as you probably are aware, I run a separate review channel, and companies often send me out products to either to plug or promote or review. And anyway, Kuspo was a company that reached out to me, and I only say this because I actually really enjoy these products. And one of the things that they sent to me was a little electronic bike pump, and this is it. Now I carry this around, it's so tiny and compact. This is my initial go-to. To be fair, you know, it's always saved me whenever I've needed to use it. But nevertheless, I like to still carry a manual bike pump as a backup. But anyway, this is simply brilliant, and it works really, really well. It's got a nice bright LCD screen on it. You can adjust your PSI. It comes with this multi valve. It's got the Presta and the Schrader option on there, or you also have these two little fittings which go straight onto the end here. Just put it over your valve of your tire, and on it goes, and it pumps it up quick smart. Really, really good. Can't recommend it highly enough. So, you know, as I'm just talking through on this video, like, I'll leave a lot of links in the description. Hey, if you're interested in any of this stuff, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but if you're interested, I'll leave the links in the bottom of this video. Up to you. You know, do your own research, but check out those links. I think you'll find them at a great price. Now, something that I'll show you else here is this bag. This is just a little bit of a, I don't know, handlebar bag. And once again, got it off AliExpress, but I absolutely love this. I think it looks neat. It's compact. You know, it's got a little handle there. It's got things you can stick in the front. It's got a little pocket right there, and obviously the large pocket in there. And what the heck, I can carry my little carbs and tubes in there for when I'm riding. Brilliant. You can carry your little bike repair bag inside there. Also, I highly recommend one of these. If you're anything like me, this is something that you probably want to get. Water resistant. The zipper there, water just beads over it. It's, yeah, highly recommended. This was off Temu, but you can get them off AliExpress. It is the quad lock copy. Okay, a lot of people poo-poo this, and they're like, oh mate, you know, that's, you're going to lose your phone, blah blah blah. I got this for $5, although I think it's probably up to $7 or $8. I'll put links in AliExpress. This has been rock solid. I don't care what anyone else says, this has been rock solid for me. Only recently my son gave me his actual quad lock case. Otherwise, I've used the cheap variant. You've seen them on all my videos, and pretty much it just goes in there and locks into place. Yeah, look, this is pretty cool. I like it. You know, sometimes I want my phone on here rather than in my pocket. Sure, I can put it in here, but look, this is just an option. But this is cheap as. People are spending $100 on quad locks because it's a quad lock. This is identical. It's lasted me. It's been rock solid. Hey, if you want to spend your $100, go for it, brother. But I just wanted to show this and, you know, just say, look, you don't have to spend a fortune. This honestly is rock solid, and it does exactly the same job. Let's move on to these things. I'll probably save this for the end because there's something actually really fascinating that I want to show you that I did here. You probably never thought about this until I show it to you. I'll save that for the end. Over here, we're moving to more Kuspo products. Now, let me just take this off. First of all, I'll show you this mount. Whenever you buy any form of Garmin computer or light or anything like that, you have to think about how are you going to mount it to your handlebar. I literally just got this the other day off AliExpress, and this is where I fit it. And you know, to be fair, I like it. It's right over this stem of my handlebar, and it kind of covers up these bolts, as you can see. And I think it's gold, you know. It's centralized, and it's perfect for these two things. Okay, so first of all, Kuspo sent this out to me, and these are daytime running lights. I can't speak highly enough about these. Like, honestly, this has been really good safety for me. Yeah, cars are seeing me. Not only that, this is a power bank as well. It's so good. And you'll see it's got this sort of quad turn Garmin style lock here. And so let me just turn this off. Now it's off. This is something you want to get for your bike. Now there's a whole bunch of different sort of daytime running lights. This is from Cuspo and I just think it's great. So yeah, I will plug it for them. Once again, I'll leave the links in the description. Just goes in and it locks in. Beautiful. Cuspo have another mount there. You can put whatever you like there. And I actually went out and bought this. They did not send this to me. I bought this. This is a CS500. It is a brilliant little bike computer. Now it's no Garmin Edge or it's no Wahoo. But look, for about 70 or 75 bucks, this is brilliant. You've seen me use this. All my courses and routes I can create up on my phone or my computer and then very quickly and easily transfer them to the Cuspo computer and it guides me. It's rock solid. The other thing is I can just go for a ride. It records it here. There's so many fields of metrics and data it'll record here. It loads straight up to my Strava and it's just great. I can't recommend it enough, but I love it for the fact that it can guide me as I create routes on these bike paths and I just follow this and I can't really get lost. So anyways, this sits on top here. It is rock solid. Really like it. Yeah, let's move on. I'll leave the light just for a moment, okay? That's going to be my grand finale. Okay, let's talk a couple of things over here. I'm going to lift this up. There we go. Now, cyclists call these a saddle. Now, I've actually done a review video when I first got this. This was $25 off Amazon. They don't sell it for 25 bucks anymore. I think it's about 35 bucks. But my point is, it's all gone cracked and stuff now, but I have been using this. My tushy has been sitting on this a lot. And I have gotten about, I think a year or maybe 13 months. And only now it's starting to, deteriorate. My point is, people can spend a lot of money on bike seats, a ridiculous amount of money. And at the end of the day, they all begin to deteriorate. This is not the one that came with it. Okay, this is a little bit bigger, but it's got gel in there that the original one doesn't. The other one is a little bit gel padded. Watch my review video if you like. But my point is, this is cheap and I will buy another one of these probably in the next week or two because that's how much I like it. Now, a lot of people go down the pathway of, I don't know, your seat bones, your bum bones, or okay, as you're sitting on this, you got to get someone to check out your bum bones type of thing. I think that's all poppycock. That's just my opinion. Think what you want. I have been extremely pleased with this. I'm going to be buying another one as well when I soon do a few more rail trails, probably the Kilkeven one down to Yarraman very soon. I can't recommend it enough. Fantastic. Now, let's move on to what I got recently, and this has to be probably one of my best purchases in recent times. This is a radar from Garmin. Specifically, it's called the Garmin Varia, the RTL rear tail light 515. Now, they're not cheap. They're about $300, and they've been out for about, the RTL 515 has been out for about 5 years or so. I wish I knew about this back then. I would have bought it back then, but I've got one now. But let me just say, hands down, this is the best bike radar you will buy. There are a whole host of others that are cheaper, but check out the reviews from other people for yourself. The Garmin Varia is the best. The others are not that reliable, and this is a safety that riders are relying upon to see if a vehicle is coming up their rear, their six. And this is what then notifies you up on your bike computer, and it works perfectly with my Cuspo CS500, and it enables me to get into a much better position as a cyclist on the road, knowing that vehicles are on my six and they are approaching, and it tells me exactly when they're going to be right behind my clacker. I can't recommend it enough. I'll do a proper review video on this soon, but I actually went to the effort of buying a cover on here, and it's more than just a cover. It actually is a security tether device. So if this was for whatever reason to come undone, it'll go like that. I don't want to lose a $300 piece of equipment. And so this feature right here tethers it to your bike. I actually purchased an additional saddle mount. I got this for about, I don't know, $4 or $5. Fantastic, because the thing is, when you've got a radar like this, you don't want it to be down low, because it's not good for it to sort of the beam of the radar, I guess, be impeded by your wheel. You want it to be up as high as possible. So for me, this is the best option in my opinion. It gets it right underneath the saddle and it fits beautifully, and it is perfectly targeted to vehicles, whether my seat is up or down, and I can make some small minute adjustments like that. Yeah, really brilliant mount that I found there on AliExpress, and as soon as I got it, I was so happy, so pleased with it. The only problem is you cannot put a under the seat bicycle repair bag, okay? Because, well, maybe you can fit one under there, I don't know, but I don't have one of those. I didn't like it, and I have transitioned to having it in here. Probably another thing just to mention is the actual bike stand that I have here. This is a bicycle repair stand. I've had this for a lot of years now. I actually bought it really expensive, but I've noticed that these have come right down in price. These things are actually really, really brilliant because they're portable. These legs actually fold up when you want to store it. This whole part of the bike stand goes up quite high. It has a rotating clamp here. This is pretty much what unlocks these teeth here, separates apart, and you can sort of rotate the bicycle left and right. The clamp here is brilliant, and it's strong enough. This whole bicycle repair stand is strong enough for my e-bikes, which are about 25 kilos each. This bike here is only like 14 kilos. Really, really strong, and the clamp is brilliant. Grabs it really nicely. The rubber there, yeah. I highly recommend one of these stands, simply because when I'm done, I can just put it away and store it out of the way. When I want it, this is simply brilliant. For washing my bike or doing, you know, general bike repairs, the stand, I cannot recommend this style of stand enough. It's great. Plus it's got this sort of a little, you know, shelf here, I guess, and it rotates around like that. Really, really good. It does have also this arm, and this secures the handlebar. If you didn't have this here, then it's just sort of flip-flop around as you're trying to work on your bike. So that's what that is about. What are we left with? Oh yeah, let me now talk about this. Now I've already done a video upon this light. This is the Trustfire D3R. Now the company did send this out to me, and to be fair, it actually is a brilliant product. I've done a review video, check it out if you like. This is 1350 lumens. It is plenty bright. It just has low, medium, high, doesn't flash. I don't really want it to flash. I just want it for nighttime riding, and it is brilliant. I actually was going to just do a video for this whole part, but then I thought let's just do all of the things that I've discussed on this bike, and then I'll finish on what I'm about to show you now. Many of you will have some form of nighttime riding light that's attached to your bicycle. The daytime running lights, this is not for nighttime riding. This is just so you got visibility for other car drivers so they can see you. Hopefully you're a bit more safe. The question that you'll often have is, okay, where do I want to put a bike light mount? In my setup here, what I have gone with is having it over here, and once again, this is simply brilliant. It just goes on and locks into place like that. It's nice and secure. I actually like it, considering what I've got on my bike. I've got that. You know, I don't always carry the phone or the quad lock mount here. Sometimes that's empty, but I don't want all these things all over my bike. So I kind of thought, let's have it down to the side. And I think that actually looks quite neat and sleek, personally speaking. That's just my opinion. I don't mind it. I just went for a great bike ride the other night through Brisbane City, up the V1, 3 hours of riding. Loved the position of it. Now here is the issue. When you're thinking about where to put, I guess, your mount, the problem is this part of your handlebar, this is 22 millimeters in diameter. This down here is about 31 millimeters in diameter. Because I've got this bag, I don't really want a bike light sitting here. You know, it's too much stuff, but not only that, you have to think about the direction of the bike light. Take a closer look. Can you notice something? This bike mount I've got it positioned slightly that way. Can you see that? Let me just try to get into a different angle. If you notice your handlebar, the handlebar, or my handlebar, it kind of comes out this way. So really the issue is my light is not shining straight down the center of where my bicycle is, okay? I want my light beam to be lighting up the path directly, sort of centralized to my bike. Now, when you have it up on these parts of the handlebar here, it kind of, the light streams out here. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know, I believe some of you probably will. But if you notice, most of these bicycle mounts, they do not have the option to turn and twist around. So you kind of are stuck by putting it in the center here, and that way it'll shine down, but I don't want it in the center there. I want it up on the side, but I don't want my light beam going down this way. We have a bit of an issue. How do we make it so that we can point it that way? I'm going to take this off and I want to show you how I tackled and solved this problem. And I hope this might help you, okay? Because you cannot really buy mounts that sort of turn left and right. Trust me, I've looked. Maybe you can, I don't know, but I couldn't find any. Okay, so let me just show this to you. I'll remove the D3R, and then we're going to be removing the bolts up here. Righto. So something that I want to just show you first of all is this thing here. Because I have a 3D printer, and honestly, I tell you, if you can buy yourself and invest in the 3D printer, it's amazing what options you have available to you. Because have a look at that. Here we have 22 millimeters in diameter handlebar, and this clamp did not come with any form of bushing to put here, so I 3D printed this. This is made out of a special filament called TPU. It's a little bit more flexible, a bit more rubbery, and the brilliant part of that is that as soon as I take it off the 3D printer, I can actually put it onto my handlebar and see how it just opens up, and it's rubbery, and you have an instant bushing. So if I can plug a 3D printer, or the reason for having one, that is one out of many, whatever you can imagine and think of. If you have a problem, a 3D printer can help you create something, or someone else has made something, you can just download it and print it off. So we now have removed this mount. This mount has this sort of GoPro style fixtures right there. Now I want you to see something, and notice how I have made it that I can twist that. I can make it left or right. Have you noticed that? Okay, these mounts do not come like that, and I just want to show you how I did that. Let me just remove those screws there. I'll just loosen up this bolt. And now I can get this screw out, and we'll just get this one out. All right, and now we have this part separated from this part. So just have a close look at what I've done here. This is just a little bit of outside the box thinking, because these mounts only come where it sits on straight. There is no option to turn it left nor right. So all I've done is I got a drill and I drilled a few more holes on each side there and sort of made it a slot. Otherwise, all it comes with, and all of these things that mounts that you buy from AliExpress or wherever you get them from, doesn't really matter. They've only got one hole there, and it is fixed straight. And that becomes an issue because you cannot direct your light. You know, if you're a little bit handy, or someone just gets a drill, this is just 3mm drill. You kind of make a few little drill holes, groove it out so that you have a slot. And I went a little bit extra up on top, and I actually gave it a little bit of a tapered edge. Hopefully you can see that. It actually works brilliantly in setting up your light to an alternative position on your handlebar. Now everyone's got different handlebars, I get that, but my ones sort of taper out. And so for me to have my light beam not sticking out that way to the right, but to centralize it towards the center of where I'm riding, this is an option. When you put your screws back, you have an option of twisting it left and right. Really, really cool way to set up a light using these cheap brackets. These brackets are cheap as, but if you're handy with a drill, that's something you are able to do. So once I've tightened it all back into place, that bites down really well, that bites down really well, and that ain't shifting nowhere. So you tighten it to your desired angle and you're good to go. And I just make some adjustments as I'm putting it back on my handlebar. Okay, there we go. Adjusting those angles right there and just tighten it up a little bit. That's the light fitted back to its position on the handlebar. You know, hope you got a little bit of something out of this video. I know I was jibber-jabbering a lot. You know, you may get some value out of this. I'll catch you on the next one.